People are only 2 paychecks away from being homeless. My name's Daz. I'm empty bins on the promenade all over Blackpool. I start early hours in the morning, and obviously when I'm driving along, I see a lot of sights, people sleeping in doorways, people sat outside my bins begging, and this is not just in the sunshine, this is all weathers. We were out on Tuesday night, we fed 24 people.
Blackpool used to be a thriving seaside town, but sometimes there's more fly-tip rubbish than tourists on the Golden Mile. Chris Webb is the Labour candidate for Blackpool North. He took us around the town to show what he thinks are its most important sites. But first, the food bank.
So I'm just packing some food up to take to Blackpool Food Bank. We've had a fantastic response from local residents wanting to help the most vulnerable in our town. So we're dropping that off this afternoon, and we all know it'll go to some great homes right across Blackpool. We've had a fantastic response with all the pasta sauces and things, so I wanted to get them off today. It's all right, if you want to take them, I can put these.
We never have enough. We can never have enough.
There's about £600,000 worth of food going out in the last 12 months.
So have you seen the need since you opened? Has it increased? Has it decreased?
It's gone like that. I think that universal credit has had a definite impact on it. I think our town, the town of Blackpool, has got some specific issues. We're transient. We have a low average weekly wage. It's significantly lower than the Northwest. The month is longer than the paycheck. So we have a lot of people that we serve who are staying above the radar, in work, but they just can't make ends meet. We had a volunteer that came on board. He was basically not working, in his mid-50s, but was feeling a bit depressed in the house, needed to get out. So he joined the team. One morning, he's normally here about 7:30. He wasn't here. My manager rang him to say, "Where are you?" And he says, "Oh, I'm on my way." And she's like, "Well, you're normally here by now. What's happened?" And he says, "Well, I'm walking." Now he lives in St Anne's, which is 7 miles away. This was, I think, his second day with us, right? He says, I've no money for the bus fare. And so I walked, and he walked 7 miles. We are definitely living in a real challenging time where the average man in the street and woman in the street is finding life quite difficult. When you look at poverty within the town and you look at Blackpool within the national network, we've got 8 of the most deprived boroughs in the top 10. We've got 8 of them in Blackpool.
Cheers.
Back to Blackpool's famous waterfront, and a man who's seen more of it than most. Daz empties bins for the council and helps the homeless in between his rounds.
So as we saw on Tuesday when we bumped into a couple and a woman who's heavily pregnant because their landlord booted them out,
Exactly.
no warning, they're the type of people that ended up on the street.
What hit home for me on Tuesday was that I've known that lad for a long time. I've known him, probably since we were 12 years old. And we said, would you like some food? And it's only when he looked at me, I thought, oh my God, I know you. I said, what's happened? We had a chat and he explained what the situation was. So through no fault of his own, he's ended up on the streets. His partner's ready to give birth any moment. He said he'd seen me, previously. So why didn't you come up to me? He said, I felt a bit embarrassed. People are only 2 paychecks away from being homeless. It could happen to anyone. But the problem, if it does happen to, well, like I say, it's happened to this couple through no fault of their own. And like I said to him on Tuesday, I said, where are you going to sleep tonight? And he said the toilets. It absolutely broke my heart. We tried, we did what we could. We did what we could. We give him food, we give him clothing, so we give him sleeping bags to try and make the night as comfortable as possible. But and like Wayne said to them, hopefully, if the council don't find them an accommodation, we have promised them that we're going to put them up in accommodation ourselves. which we will do. You know yourself. We've already helped Jamie, the young homeless lad who got attacked in town. You know, he was asleep, minding his own business, and he got attacked in town for no reason. It was us that went and found Jamie. You know, we got him off the street within a week. We got him off the street, clean of drugs, everything. You know, and speaking to Jamie now, it's
night and day, isn't it?
It's crazy. You know, it's absolutely nuts.
Stories like that from Daz are not uncommon in Blackpool. It's a once thriving seaside resort, left behind in an era of cheap flights to the sun. One part of the town has the lowest life expectancy for men in England. Alcohol, drugs, diet and mental health all contribute. The next day, we went to see Stuart. He provides counselling to his community.
So what made you start counselling in the community?
The
When
need.
did it all begin?
The need. We've based ourselves deliberately in one of the most deprived wards in Blackpool, if not in the country. Blackpool itself has, unfortunately, a very poor name for mental health, male suicide being one of the highest in the country. It feels that the mental health service as it is failing. People that are coming to us are telling us that they're in crisis and having to wait 11 months to see somebody, and that's just not on.
Some benefit cuts to the most vulnerable across the town so high. Are they playing a big factor in people's mental health in the town?
The environment they're living in plays a massive part in that. You know, people will be depressed over not being able to feed their children, not being able to afford to put decent clothes on their back. Our figures are going up and up and up. There's light at the end of the tunnel for the people that come here, but for the mental health service, I don't see it.
These are the stories of people living here in Blackpool and many seaside towns across our country. I'm proud to call this place my home. We know Blackpool has a problem with deprivation. We've heard today of people on our streets, residents not getting the mental health support they need, and how difficult it is for people to put food on the table and make ends meet.